Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to Empowering Humanity Through Music. I am your vocal coach, Stephanie Thompson. For those of you who maybe don't know me, I am a main performer for Empowering Humanity TV and also the entertainment director. So I cover all the entertainment for Empowering Humanity TV when we have our live events and networking events. I have had experience singing for quite a few years, and I have a degree in music, vocal performance, and I am classically trained. So that's a little bit of qualifications for me. I'm not going to go into all the other details about my life story because I did that on the first session. And if you're interested, you can go back and watch that first session and learn a little bit more about me. So we're talking about empowering humanity through music. Now, doesn't it happen when you're a little blue and not feeling so great, that when you sing a song in the shower or in your car, that you start feeling lifted up and your attitude changes? Well, that is the healing power of music. And music is the universal language. Last week, we discussed an introduction to your voice, how to discover your voice. And we talked about the different kinds of voices with women, the alto, the mezzo-soprano, the soprano, the high soprano, which is a color to a soprano, and then the men's voices, which is bass, baritone, and tenor. And then you have the countertenor, which is a voice that sounds like a woman's voice. Very interesting sound. And we talked about, do you have a breathy voice? Do you have a small voice? Do you have a really large voice or a really resonant voice like me? What kind of voice do you have? It's all about embracing that unique voice that you have. So those are the things, some of the things we talked about in the last session. And again, if you want to see it, you can go to empoweringhumanity.com/Stephanie. And you can see my last session. And you can see some of the other things that I do healing through music. This week, we're going to talk about your body is your instrument. Now, why do I say your body is your instrument? Well, your body is your instrument because your vocal cords are right here in your larynx, and you carry it around with you all day long. So literally, your body is your instrument. It holds your voice. Just like when a violinist has a very exclusive, very expensive violin, like a Stradivarius violin, he carries around in a special case, and he treats it very well. How you treat your body will either help or hinder your voice. That's the main thing, because your body is your instrument. Now, singing is very athletic. So one of the things you want to do when you're getting ready to sing is you want to warm up your body. You can do that by taking a walk around the block, jumping on the treadmill, getting on the elliptical machine, or just jogging in place or something just to warm yourself up. So we're going to warm our bodies up right now. Now, if you're driving, obviously, you can't do that. But if you're in a safe space where you can move around and do some exercises, great. That's what you're going to do. So, one of the things you want to do when you're warming up your body is just move all around and just totally let everything get relaxed and loose. Okay? Like this. And then stretch. Stretch out. Feel the stretch in your arms. And move them down. And then roll your shoulders. Ooh, I have a little tightness in my shoulders. That feels good. Roll your shoulders backwards. And then forwards. Yeah. And move your arm across. Feel that stretch right there. Feel that stretch right there. And then we're going to go all the way down to the ground, like this, and try to touch our toes. Can you touch your toes? Now, when you come up, I want you to imagine a string pulling from the top of your head, pulling you. Okay, come up and imagine that string pulling you up by your head. Now, do you feel a little taller? You should. Are your shoulders nice and relaxed? I hope they are. Now, the other thing you want to do is you want to have your legs nice and loose. You don't want to stand, stop, lock, kneed, because that's not going to help you. And that's going to tighten up your throat. So make sure that your legs are nice and set apart. And your knees are nice and loose. Okay, now we're getting to the part where we're preparing our whole instrument to sing. Now, there are these little things in our mouths called articulators, vocal articulators. We have the soft palate, which if you reach inside, you feel that soft part right up there. That's your soft palate. And then you have your tongue, and your lips. And they articulate the words when you're singing. They help you articulate. So that is just a little bit introduction about your body being your instrument as far as different things that we use. But I can go into more details, but that would just take a really long time. So if you're interested in vocal coaching, please come see the website, empoweringhumanity.com/Stephanie, and you can get into more details and you can find out more about what I do and maybe sign up for some vocal coaching. And I would love to see you. So the other thing about your voice is your chords kind of vibrate together when you sing, okay? You're sending air over the chords and they vibrate. That's what they do. And that's how it controls the pitch and the sound and everything. So if you're a drinker or you're a smoker, that's not very good for your voice. Just saying. Because it affects the vocal cords. And the other thing is you want to stay nice and lubricated, especially if you're in a climate like Las Vegas where it's so hot and dry. You want to have some water. So having water next to you when you're singing is a good thing so you don't get too dry, right? Tastes good. So water is a really good thing to have because it's pure. It doesn't affect the voice in any way. If you have caffeine, then it can dry the voice out. So all these kinds of things you want to think about when you're thinking about your body being your instrument and housing your voice. The other thing is, if you go out and have a great time with your friends or whatever, and you're yelling and screaming, don't expect the next day when you're at home that you're going to have a great vocal session because you have taxed your vocal cords by yelling and screaming. So it's very important as a singer to always be aware of what you're doing. Now there are some exceptions to the rule. I knew an opera singer who she used to drink a cold Diet Coke every time she went on stage, and it didn't affect her. But you know how it is. The pros do it a certain way and they can get away with it. But when you're first starting out, it's a good idea to think of these things and keep these things in mind. So, your body is your instrument. I was talking to you last week about your breath, right? So when you have your hands right here, and you feel your thumbs on your ribs, and you have your lungs expanding, that helps your voice. So as I said last week, your lungs are like two big balloons, and you want to fill them up with air, right? Okay, so let's feel again how our body is our instrument. Now, remember When you're doing the breathing, you don't want to lift your shoulders because that tightens your voice in your throat. Okay, so keep your shoulders nice and relaxed, and then breathe in. So the count of 3, we're going to breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Did you feel that? You see how your body is engaged when you breathe? That's all part of your body being your instrument. And then, as last week we talked about, we sang on and ah. So let's see how that we can hear. As we sing on the ah, we're going to hear our vocal cords vibrating together. So let's just do a simple ah. And hear how your vocal cords vibrate together. Okay, we're going to breathe in on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and release on an ah. Ah. You're literally hearing your vocal cords vibrate together. And how the tension is in your vocal cords determines what pitch you have. So that was a middle C. If you go up a little bit, then your vocal cords are going to vibrate at a different range. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's different. Do you see that? So that's all a part of your body being your instrument because it controls how. Now, if I had my shoulders up, say, while I was doing that, let's try that again. It wouldn't sound as good. So let me try it when my shoulders up. See, it kind of labors in pitch. It's not as clear. So that's why it's important to keep your shoulders nice and back and relaxed. That's all part of your body being your instrument, right? Now, how do you feel right now? Do you feel good? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel like you could try a little bit of a song, maybe? Okay, so there's a song that I do by Christina Aguilera called Beautiful. And the beginning is nice and simple. So what I want you to do, there it is repeat after me. I'm going to breathe in. Every day is so wonderful. Now see if you can do that much, okay? So breathe in like I showed you, not lifting your shoulders. And count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Every day is so wonderful. Now, how did that feel? Now, what you also are going to feel is you're going to feel the resonance on your face. That's called the facial mask. So when you're singing, you're going to feel that resonance. Some people feel it more than others, but you're going to feel some of that resonance. And you probably felt it just now when you did it. Now try one more time and see if you can feel that resonance. Okay? Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Every day is so wonderful. Do you feel that? Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is your voice. And if you got that far, then you're starting to discover really where your voice is. And you're learning how to use it appropriately by having your body be your instrument and let it reflect your voice in a positive way. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I want you to check out empoweringHumanityTV.com because there's so many ways that we're empowering humanity. Amy Kardashian has created this amazing platform that is just so inspiring, and you need to see what we're doing with empowering humanity. And you can also go to that website and see what else I'm doing with healing through music and using the universal language of music to empower the world and make the world a better place. So I hope you enjoyed this week's session, and we will have the next session next week, and it's going to be how to find your breath. So I hope you look forward to that, and for now, keep singing and keep enjoying your voice. And I will answer the questions that you have after this session. Thank you so much.